All right, let's get right into this. Jesus once talked about two paths. One is this huge, wide road that honestly, almost everyone is on. It feels totally normal, right? It's easy, it's so crowded you feel safe, and you don't really have to think too hard about where you're going. And yet, Jesus said that road, it leads to destruction. But then, he talks about this other path. It's narrow, it's hard to find, and kind of lonely. But that one, he said, leads to life. The catch? Only a few ever find it.
So the existence of these roads isn't really up for debate in this teaching. The real question, the one that kind of lands right in our lap, is which road are you on right now?
I mean, look at the contrast here. You've got the wide road, it's the default setting, it's easy, it's popular, and then you've got the narrow road. Difficult. You might be walking it alone, and it's not obvious. And their destinations couldn't be more different. Destruction versus life. It's a pretty intense and frankly unsettling picture, isn't it? Okay, so let's dig into that first path, the wide road. Why is it so packed with people? Well, the answer is kind of surprising. It's less about people making these big, evil choices and way more about something quieter. A kind of passive, unthinking drift. Think about it for a second. Nobody ever sits you down and gives you a lesson on how to just drift, how to just go with the flow. We don't need to be taught. We're just born into a world that's already moving, you know? The culture already has its own definitions of success, of what's good, of what matters. We just inherit that direction. Most people never even realize they're on a road, let alone that they have a choice to make. And so we just do what feels right, what feels good. We avoid things that seem too hard or costly. We stick with the crowd because it feels accepted, and the whole thing seems totally harmless, right up until Jesus points out the final destination of that road. So this brings us to the real heart of the matter. It's not just about the road itself, but the gate you have to go through to get on it. Why is one so easy to waltz through, while the other is so incredibly difficult? Well, the wide gate is wide because you can bring everything with you. There's no baggage check. You can haul your pride, your ego, your need to be in control. All of it fits right through. But that narrow gate, yeah, that baggage isn't going to make it. You have to leave some things behind. Specifically, the idea that you're in charge, that you can save yourself, that you define your own reality apart from God. And this right here, this is the key. This is why so few people go through it. It's not because the gate is some big secret. It's because the price of admission, surrender, at first it feels like losing. It feels like a massive loss, long before it ever begins to feel like life. But okay, this is where the whole thing just gets flipped on its head. Because we start to realize this isn't about following a miserable set of rules. The real meaning, the game changer, is realizing the gate isn't a what, it's a who. And there it is. Jesus says it himself, plain as day. I am the gate. So he's not just some guide pointing to a path. He's claiming to be the path. That changes absolutely everything. You see, the way isn't narrow because God is some cosmic bouncer trying to keep people out. It's narrow because truth, by its nature, is specific. It's like a key for a lock, right? Only one key fits. The idea here is that the human heart was designed to find its way through a relationship of trust with Christ, not by trying to achieve some kind of moral perfection on its own. And you know, if you zoom out and look at the whole biblical story, this is not a new idea. This choice has always been the central human drama. In Eden, it was trust God or trust yourself. For Israel, it was follow God or follow the nations around you. The prophets kept yelling, return or just keep drifting. Jesus just puts the ultimate frame on it. Enter the gate or stay on the road. Now, I know it would be so easy to hear all this and think it's just a harsh threat. But if you look at the context, it really seems to be something else entirely. It's more like an urgent, open invitation coming from a God who actually wants people to come in. So how do you do it? How do you enter? Well, the teaching suggests you don't actually kick the door down yourself. The gate is opened for you from the inside by Christ. And the only thing you need to bring, the only thing that fits through that opening, is faith. And listen, it's not about having some perfect, flawless, doubt-free faith. It's just a surrendered one, a simple trust. And it is so important that we get the tone right here. When Jesus talked about destruction, his voice wasn't filled with anger. It was filled with grief. The tragedy of the wide road isn't God being mad at people. The tragedy is people missing out on life itself. A real, authentic life that's aligned with truth, anchored in love, and totally secure in God. So what are you left with? Not some complicated spiritual formula, not a long list of impossible demands. It's just a single, simple word from Christ himself. Enter. That's it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. All that's needed is the willingness to walk through. Because here's the beautiful promise of this path. You don't walk it by yourself. The one who is the gate is also your companion on the journey. And the destination? It isn't just a place called heaven. It's a restored relationship, a deep connection with God, the very thing this teaching says our hearts were made for all along.
And so we're right back where we started. The wide road is easy, but the narrow way is the one that leads to life. After all this, the invitation is still on the table. So, which path feels most familiar to you?